Hello and welcome to the January 2024 Plotagon News. I am Helena, Plotagon's community manager, here to give you the scoop on what's happening with Plotagon right now. I hope your 2024 has gotten off to a smashing start. Today, we'll take a peek at what is coming up in the next couple of months for our Plotagon community. And now, the Plotagon News. As a follow-up to our Plotagon 2023 That's a Wrap story in last month's episode, we released some additional data and informational infographics on our social media. Check it out on Plotagon's TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube community tab, as well as in our Plotagon Story Direct Connect. And the much-anticipated Ploscars will be returning this year. This time, the community will get to nominate their favorite plots, characters, and concepts across 15 categories. The event consists of 3 rounds: nominations, votings, and award ceremony. The Ploscars Award Ceremony will take place with a grand premiere and live chat on our YouTube channel on Saturday, March 9th. Keep an eye out on Friday, January 19th to begin nominations. As a reminder, you'll likely see the information first in Plotagon Story Direct Connect. So if you're eager to see the categories and start nominating, check there first on Friday. You may be wondering about the community challenge for January. Don't worry, we didn't forget it. We are revamping the concept a bit, and I think we'll see a lot of awesome submissions. We will announce that on Monday, January 22nd, so keep an eye out in Direct Connect for the prompt then. As an update from last month's statistics, our top 3 countries using Plotagon have changed rankings and include a new country in the mix. We now have Bangladesh in the lead, followed by India, with the US being knocked out of the top 3 altogether by Saudi Arabia, grabbing the 3rd spot. Will Saudi Arabia keep its hold in the top 3, or will the United States make its way back? Only one way to find out. Watch February's Plotagon News. And finally, we have a special shoutout this month, including an awesome interview. During Shoutouts, we give shoutouts to cool content recently released or soon to be coming from our Plotagon community members. And we're proud and excited to feature Wasting Time Productions this month. Our intrepid on-the-scene reporter Helena interviewed Wasting Time Productions' very own Shane to learn more about this series and its Season 2 finale. Before I hand you over to the interview, if you've got some cool project coming up and want a shout out, email community@plotagon.com to learn more. And now, on to the interview. Wasting Time is a 2-season Plotagon series featuring Nia and Lexi, 2 teens who discover time travel abilities and have to come to terms with this, while also learning to navigate complex moral issues and protecting their newfound abilities. Season 2 just wrapped up, and we are excited to interview the creator Shane about this 42-episode series, its themes, how it came about, and what's next.
Can't stop laughing. This is the best show in the world.
Welcome, Shane. Let's get started. You've got an ambitious story featuring time travel, friendships, dilemmas, heroes, and villains, and with each of the 42 episodes clocking in at around the 30-minute mark, a solidly bingeable series. If our intro and description hasn't sold checking out Wasting Time to our audience, what would you add to convince viewers to add your show to their to-be-watched list?
Thank you for the question. So, what sets this series apart for me is not just the time travel element, but the journey and development that Nia, Lexi, and their friends go through as the episodes go on and the lessons that the characters learn. At the beginning, Nia and Lexi are both sophomores and they use time travel to make their own lives better, or the lives of their friends and family better. However, they swiftly discover the fragility of time and the intricacies of their powers. By the end of Season 2, everything has changed a lot for my characters. Now, not only do Lexi and Nia have time travel adventures, but they also have to keep their friends that they care about safe. There are other characters who are or become aware of the time travel powers, and attempt to seize them from Lexi and Nia in a bid to gain power for themselves, intensifying the stakes and challenges faced by the protagonists. Lastly, Wasting Time has a diverse cast, and I've strived to give each character their own personality and backstory. This is a show that not only explores the lives and feelings of the main characters, but aims to explore the lives of side and recurring characters as well. Whether it's Nia and Lexi journeying back to learn more about their older family members, teachers, or even characters yet unborn in the future, the series offers a glimpse into the diverse and captivating lives of a multitude of characters. Overall, you will encounter a plethora of intriguing characters.
This series features a good-sized cast. How did you plan out characters' mannerisms, their story arcs, and are any of them based on IRL people you know?
It's certainly not easy to keep track of everything, so I have a Google Doc where I store details about the characters that I come up with as I go along. I write about their personalities, backstories, family tree, and anything else important to remember. When coming up with an idea for an episode, I revisit this document to see if there's anything that could be explored deeper. Character creation has always been my favorite part of writing, so I'm pretty adept at it by this point. I also write out how I expect the characters to change by the end of the season. As for the inspiration to my characters, Nia, Lexi, Gregory, Ethan, and Jill were all originally characters I created when I was younger, and I used to write stories about them in my creative writing classes, so I had an idea already of what they were like as people. Mason's character and story was based on an old friend I had. Lizzie's character was based on how I saw Plotagon's stock character, Lizzie, but I created her own character model so she could change clothing or hairstyles in each episode. Jill Charlotte was based off of the common mean girl stereotype that exists in many TV shows and movies, but with the caveat that she's very secretly very smart.
You just concluded Season 2 of the series, labeled Desires. Season 1 was called Powers. Is this the end of the time-traveling road for Nia, Lexi, and company?
Nope. I am planning for a third season. Now I was pretty tired after making the last episode of Season 2, so I really need a break and to focus on other things in my life. Season 3 will likely come out in 2025 or 2026. It takes me a year to fully finish a 21-episode season, due to the time I have.
Impressive. How much have the characters changed since the pilot episode? How much change was natural aging and growing versus changing from the powers and situations thrust upon them?
Many of the characters face hardships, or even trauma during the series, which changes them as people, and they have to figure out how to deal with it. Lexi is more naive and optimistic at the beginning of the series, and would act without thinking. Once they make mistakes with time travel, Lexi becomes more prudent. On the other hand, Nia learns to be a little less stubborn and overly cautious, because that could be a hindrance at some point. Mason goes from being an overly sheltered kid controlled by his parents to finding out who he truly is, and becoming his own person. Another character, Michaela, starts off as a bully character, but then later becomes a better person as she realizes that she should be better and her old toxic friend was influencing her to be a bad person. Jill, however, turns into a worse person as the series progresses. As the main character's main enemy, she gets worse as they get better. So as you can see, many of the characters change, but not all of them change in the same way.
It sounds like you've got a solid grasp on your characters' journeys. Time travel often involves complex mechanics. How did you approach maintaining consistency and clarity in the portrayal of time travel in the series?
This is something that required a lot of record keeping on my part. I have another document where I keep track of the timeline of the series, and try my best to avoid plot holes. I also would rewatch old episodes to make sure that I don't make any errors or mistakes by saying something contradictory to a previous episode. It's difficult, but worth it to create a consistent story that makes sense, especially one that involves time travel.
Were there any specific rules or guidelines you established for the world building of Wasting Time? Did any of them evolve or change going from season 1 to 2, or as you approached the final episode?
One important rule was the fragility and malleability of time, and that Lexi and Nia always face changes or consequences whenever they decide to time travel. They learn more about their power as the series progresses and the more they use it. The further you go in the series, the more you learn about the origins of the time travel powers and the world in which Nia and Lexi live. One thing that did change was that I decided to include the true origin of the powers in Season 2, which wasn't something I had planned in the beginning, but it was ultimately the right decision for the direction I wanted the story to go.
I love a good plot twist when you as the creator are planning out your story. Now, what media, like TV shows, movies, books, comics, games, etc., or real-life experiences inspired Wasting Time, its characters, and storyline?
Well, pretty much any time travel movie or media. The movie Back to the Future is one of my favorite movies, and while that movie is very different than my series, it was the first time travel movie I ever watched, and it will always hold a special place in my heart. The Life is Strange video game also is one of my favorite time travel related video games, and some of the themes from that game inspired Wasting Time.
Back to the Future is a classic. So can you walk us through your process on creating the episodes?
Once I have the season loosely planned, I write a script of the episode I'm working on in Google Docs. Sometimes I get a lot of ideas, and I create the episode quickly. Other times, writer's block hits me and it takes a long time. Once the script is finished, I create all necessary character models and costume changes that are needed for the episode. I animate the episode in Plotagon Studio, then rewatch it to fix any errors before I render the video. Afterward, I edit the episode, add any extra music or sound effects and the end credits. After rendering the video, I upload it and set up a premiere on my YouTube channel. I use Canva to create thumbnails and graphics.
That sounds very familiar to my process as well, especially with interviews. So, are you known for any other series or Plotagon content?
I have created a few other plots and miniseries on my channel, but Wasting Time was always my priority, so they don't have many episodes. In the future, I may create more standalone videos, short films, or a spin-off episode of Wasting Time based on a side character. One thing I did make was a pilot episode for an idea for a series called Moonlight Hall. However, I haven't done any more episodes because I haven't had time.
If it's anything like Wasting Time, I am sure it's well thought out and produced. Last question. What's next for you and for the Wasting Time universe?
In my own life, I've just graduated college and started my first full-time job. I'm also getting my master's degree so I can get more experience and higher pay at my day job. Because of that, I'll be pretty busy and Season 3 of Wasting Time won't be out for a while, but it's something that will eventually happen. In Season 3, we will explore what Nia and Lexi's life happens during their senior year of high school. While they are being pursued by someone who now is living in the shadows, the characters will prepare to graduate high school and plan what they are going to do once they become adults. I haven't fully planned it yet, but I have a foundation. But in the meantime, Season 1 and 2 are available for everyone to watch on my channel. If you are discovering my channel for the first time, welcome, and I hope you enjoy watching my series.
Shane, thank you so much for coming on to tell us about your awesome series and your process. I hope that everyone is inspired and checks out Wasting Time on YouTube. You can find it by looking up Wasting Time Productions.